This is Dysfunctional Alliance, the podcast where psychology, sex, and survival intersect. I'm your host, Nat, and our ally this week is Bree Bates, better known as the Ebony Hempress. She's more than just a cannabis creator. She's a walking rebrand for the plant itself. From editing a 420 magazine, to hosting a blazing podcast, to breaking down couch lock with science and sass. Bree is out here blazing trails and woods in Ohio's growing green scene. So what happens when the medicine you swear by is the same one your childhood was warned against? Let's light up and talk about it. Okay. First, thank you so much for coming on today, Bree. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Natalie. I am honored to be a guest on your podcast.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Literally, you're making me blush.
Literally.
Stop. So my first question for you, we're just going to jump right in. And my first question for you is, do you think about psychology or sex more?
That's tough. I'd say it's almost even probably at this big age. I'd say it's about 50-50.
Okay, I like that answer. You're the first person that's answered like that.
That's an honest answer.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So I guess my question, I don't even have a follow-up for that one in mind. So thank you for that. You got me out here like, do we have something?
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question for you, kind of going from the half and half, the even split, is did sex ever take like a turn for you? Like whenever you started using plant medicine more, did it get better for you? Or was there like any change? Was there even like a decrease maybe? I don't know. There's so many ways that could go, I feel like.
That's a great question. Honestly, I feel like cannabis has a way of interweaving itself into different aspects of people's lives. When you kind of get introduced to it, you find that a lot more things are more enjoyable. I would say definitely cannabis helps.
I totally agree.
Make sex better, more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, no, for sure it does. But another thing that I want to like add to that is like, I think a lot of people like, like whenever you have a drink and you're like, oh yeah, but like, I feel like loosey-goosey, I'm going to try something new because I had this martini. Yeah. I feel like the same thing can be like felt with like a joint. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I didn't have a martini, but I did just have this nice joint. And so now I feel like the same way I feel loosey-goosey.
You're a lot more relaxed.
New. Yeah, for
definitely.
Sure. I think that's something that's really cool about like just learning about the plant itself is just like how many things can be like reignited for you, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
Because like somebody who, I don't know, I feel like, 1 second.
We'll take a drink break also.
Yeah. Very necessary. But I see it as like, so in the same way that I just said like the martini comparison, I feel like people might get into like the, well, that's why you're addicted to it and like all of that, like you have to have this to do it. But really, sure. I think like it's, if you're doing it in a responsible way, you're not like over consuming and you're not doing things that are going to like hurt you, then like it's kind of a reward. Like imagine a person that doesn't like to move around a lot and they're like, I do smoke though. Like I do have a joint all the time. Like I'll always have a joint. And so that person might say like, I'm going to go take a hike. And then at the end of that hike is when I'll have my joint. Because then I'm like getting the best of both worlds. So like, I feel like when you learn about moderation with it and you start to like really like learn your boundaries with it, I guess, like where you can, it's completely different than somebody who has like, who's suffering with alcoholism.
Everybody's like relationship with cannabis is unique.
Mm-hmm.
And, your like journey with cannabis is going to look completely different from somebody else's in 100%. Terms of like what you're using it for, you know what I mean? How you're using it, how often, all of that stuff. So you really can't even try to judge someone because it's like
that's how I always
it's
see
definitely not cookie cutter.
Oh my gosh, literally.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like there's so many. We'll get into this more in the episode, so I'm excited to talk more about that. But to talk about something that I think that most people will experience whenever they start trying cannabis is snacks and the munchies. What is your go-to like stoner snack that somebody might look at and be like, that was really weird. Why are you eating that?
Wow, that's so funny. A weird stoner snack?
I'll tell you one of mine.
Honestly, I just love to like, I'm not a munchie person. I'm like, I want some really good food.
Really?
Like,
okay, no,
I like to treat myself because
for sure, I get that.
Me personally, I'm weird. Like I kind of struggle to eat sometimes.
Same.
So I really have to go all out sometimes to just
like getting the exciting meal.
Yeah.
That's like my munchies for me too. Sometimes occasionally like if I get a like specific strain, I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I want to eat like I don't know. You know, I have more weird pregnancy cravings.
Do you really?
Yeah, than I did like stoner cravings, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm so situational, so it's like I can't just pinpoint one thing.
I totally feel you on the like a good meal afterwards. Like the other day I had a very rough night because I really wanted barbecue. It was actually the 4th of July.
Aww.
And so I really wanted barbecue.
That's the day for sure.
It was so hot. And so I like put an order in that was gonna like give me the effect of having barbecue because all the actual barbecue places were out enjoying their 4th of July. But like I overheat and it was so hot. Like I was like I absolutely couldn't even do this if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And so it
was almost 100 degrees.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. And so I was like, I ordered from this place. I was so excited for it. I was like, this is gonna be so delicious. And I waited like an hour for it and it was like, it's not coming. And then I Googled it. This place it's not even open. It says like temporarily closed on Google.
God.
Like it doesn't even like, so there was a comment, like a review underneath and it said, I wish I would have known that this restaurant's been closed for over a year.
That's so crazy. I would have been so pissed.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, I would have
expecting like some like really like soul food, you know?
Yes.
Like, had some greens on that order, the mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese for sure.
Excited. I was so excited.
Oh my god.
And I didn't get a single, not even a scrap. And so I ordered mac and cheese from another place.
Yeah.
And kind of a similar situation, but they do exist. This restaurant was like open and wasn't like closed permanently or whatever. And it got canceled too. What? And that was like my settling. Like I was like, oh, okay, I'll settle for this.
Wow.
It was like Panera mac and cheese.
And,
yeah. And so I was like, I'll settle for this Panera mac and cheese. And
so disappointing.
It didn't come either. Yeah.
Nobody was trying to deliver that day, apparently.
I was so upset. I was like, fireworks are more important than money? Fireworks
Did you tip them too?
Yes. The one person I put like a $10 tip on.
And they still didn't pick it up?
Oh, wait, no. Actually, that person did actually go to the store and Panera was closed. Like they picked up the order too late. So
oh my god.
I still don't think they got the tip, which I mean, I guess
that's crazy.
That's kind of fucked up, but also like it took you like an hour to pick up this order, so
right.
I mean, you win some, you lose some, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a tough night for me. I was really upset. I don't even want to air myself out like this.
DoorDash is kind of hit or miss sometimes.
I don't know if I ate that night. I think I was like, you know what? I'm not even hungry.
Damn. I mean, after all of that,
because I struggled.
I would have been over it. I would have been over it. Yeah.
And so I was like,
I would have had to smoke again, at least.
Yeah, I did. That didn't even help. I was like, you know what? No, nobody was my saving grace, and that's crazy.
Pissed.
Like, there was nowhere else after that.
I'm so sorry. That's shitty.
It's okay. It's okay. We can get back into the interview now. DoorDash really disappointed me with that.
Damn.
I was really heartbroken.
3 strikes in one night is crazy.
In one night, in like a matter of 3 hours. 3 strikes in 3 hours is crazy.
I mean, I know it's the 4th of July, but still.
Literally. Like, honestly, they're kind of haters at that point. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, so my last like little intro question, my last little icebreaker. I see that your eyes look so wide and open, and your lashes look so fluttery and beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
So my question for you is, are weed and lashes your 2 self-care must-haves?
Ooh. If I only had to pick 2, wow. That's crazy. No, honestly, I think I would probably pick weed and nails.
Okay, I totally feel that.
Because I really just started doing lashes. Like, I just got into that last year. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you guys about all of my mishaps, but 2 weeks ago, I had the lash disaster of the century.
No.
Like, you see my bald little eyes. I could put mascara on them, but I'm using freaking that gold tube. What is it called? It's something.
I don't know. What is it?
Grande lash. I'm using the Grande lash to try to grow with MAC because I wanted to get lashes before my collab. And so I got a set done, and they were like touching my eyelid. And so they were so uncomfortable. I have sensory issues so bad.
Yeah.
So touching my eyelid was bad. And I also have like trichotillomania, which is like where you pick your hair. It's not just like eyelashes, but mine just happens to be like if I feel anything near my eye, it's like a form of OCD. And so if I feel anything near my eye, I'm like immediately like, no. And so it didn't cause like much damage to my actual lashes. So I went to like another lash girl that was good because like all of my lashes fell out on the side. Not even just from me touching them. Yeah. They were just like falling so quickly, and they weren't the style that I wanted. They were like the not good style of lashes. I hate that. And so I was like, okay, I hate that. Yeah, literally. And so I went to this girl who was really good, but then my eyes were inflamed because of the lash girl, so they didn't hold on that one either because they felt like awful. That sucks. And so, yeah, now I'm bald for a little while at least. I also maybe
you're going natural and it looks good.
I would have worn, thank you. Yeah. I would have worn strip lashes, but I forgot to bring them. So
mine are falling out, girl. I was about to say this right here. I feel like isn't even that good. Like
they look good.
I feel like this is like 50% right here.
That's okay. Well, you should feel really good about 50% then.
I guess I should.
Yeah,
but I'm just
50%, like that's a good 50% for sure.
I'd be so pissed when I wake up in the morning and I see the lashes like in my bed. I'm like,
have you seen those goggles that you like?
No, but my lash lady told me about them, and I just started laughing. Like, girl, what? I'm not going to be able to sleep with goggles on.
Them again, which I don't think I ever am going to try them again because honestly, somebody told me about like a lash lift and tint. And that's all I need because I just like to look like really open and like I like to look like I have natural eyelashes. Yeah. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to use the Grande lash for a little bit and I'm going to get a lift and tint and that's going to do me justice, I think.
Lift. Mm-hmm. What?
It's like a perm.
Is that?
It's like a perm for your eyelashes. You got to go to somebody who's like good at it though because some people leave and they have like coily eyelashes, which is insane.
What?
But yeah, it's literally just your natural lashes. And they tint them. Uh-huh. So it's like they get darker. Yeah. Which I have like pretty dark. Well, I don't know actually. I don't know how dark my eyelashes are in terms of like how dark eyelashes can get. But my hair is dark, so I would think my lashes are dark. And
they look brown.
Yeah. So maybe they'll go black. Maybe it'll look like I have mascara on all the time. Yeah. And that's what the goal is. Yes. I would love that. Right. That would be, that's literally right up my alley. Like 1,000%.
Yeah, no, I naturally have like longer lashes, or at least that's what people used to tell me. So I've never gotten my lashes done until I won a free set with my lash lady at Lash Bay Tay.
Okay, period.
That's my girl.
Period. Maybe she can hook these up because I don't know. But yeah, girl, if you already have long lashes, I would be asking.
But I fell in love with lashes, girl. I'm just like, damn.
No, honestly, I feel you. They're so cute.
And then I don't have to do eye makeup. And I'm just like, period.
No, I have to go. So even though I said I had like a fill set up with the good lash tech. Yeah. And I should probably shout her out, but my brain is so like frazzled I can't even think of her name. Beauty. I'll tag it. I'm gonna send it so that it'll be in the video, and you'll know. I'll make sure she gets her shout because she is really good at her job. I'm just really not good at having lashes, so it is what it is. Not even natural lashes. I pull them out, so my body's just not good at eyelashes.
I feel you though. I feel like I had a little allergy, like flare up or something, and my eyes were just so itchy, girl.
Yeah. Oh, in Denver.
And the only thing, no, this was here.
Oh, regular.
This was after my trip from Denver because I went out there in May. The only thing that would kind of soothe it was like washing my lashes, and then like I feel all right for like a while.
I can't. Literally, I can't. And I was trying. I did try my best to make sure that they did not get too damaged. There was already a piece that was damaged from the lash tech that. Whoop. Sorry. I think that was another one. My apologies, guys. Sorry if it's still squeaking or anything. Anyways, I don't even remember what I was saying, but that's totally fine because we could jump right into the next question. We're on to like a new subject. Topic is the word I was looking for.
Okay.
So, when did you realize that cannabis was more than just fun for you and it was also like healing and medicinal?
That's a great question. I guess I really started to acknowledge and kind of like discover the significance that cannabis, the potential that cannabis has for society. Probably when I got into the industry, so that was about 2021 when I first started bud tending, and that was actually in Michigan in the UP.
Oh, cool. That's a really cool way to get into the industry. I've always wanted to be a bud tender.
It's a fun job.
It seems
for
like
sure.
I'm a people person, so I feel like I would shine there.
Yeah, it's just customer service and some cannabis knowledge.
Yeah, I love a good I literally hyperfixate on weed heavily, so love to.
Honestly, like if you don't have a passion for the plant, I don't recommend even coming out and applying.
So funny that you said that because another question that I had for you like really soon was, is there a turning point that made you pursue it as a passion? And so you just answered that. It's always been a passion, basically.
So I didn't start smoking weed until I was 18 years old. I was out of school, and I don't really know like why. I just was just like, I guess I'm just gonna try it out, see what's the big buzz about it. But prior to that, I really wasn't like terribly concerned about weed. You know what I mean? And even younger, like I did kind of grow up in the DARE era, so like I had a whole different understanding and perspective on the plant.
For sure.
I did have, friends growing up that I knew smoked, but I just never really understood. So
yeah,
I didn't really, start to appreciate cannabis and realize that it was something I had a passion for until I got into the industry and seeing how much it was helping people heal. And then learning about all of this science behind the plant and also with our bodies too.
Oh my gosh, it's so interesting.
I was opened up to such a huge, vast world.
Literally been there,
because of that, because of the plant. So
have you, so I guess we'll talk about like one of my hyperfixations, which it is kind of correlating to this entire episode. And if you talked to me like probably like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, you knew, or if you were one of my professors in college, you know that this is one of my hyperfixations. I love psychedelic assisted therapy in general. I think microdosing mushrooms was literally a game changer in my like growth as a person. But then I hyperfixated and I started to get into so much more. And so I started to learn about like just all of the benefits of psilocybin, which is like the mushroom compound. And there's so many of them, like for mental health specifically. And then ketamine, which not like endorsing ketamine, but like responsibly, I am endorsing ketamine because literally ketamine therapy, there's like billboards. I just saw a billboard for it, and I was like, literally 3 years ago, I was like, I guarantee you guys, you will be seeing billboards that are saying like ketamine therapy, like psilocybin therapy, just like all of the psychedelics.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys are gonna be seeing it. It's gonna be like an uptick in it. And so my fiance was like, look, I told and I was like, I told you, like I knew it was gonna happen. And ketamine is so interesting. Like I
don't know a lot about ketamine.
I've never done ketamine.
Put me on, because I'm
like listen, I am not endorsing anyone use anything.
Is it bad?
No. I mean, okay. So there are people that become like addicted to ketamine, but
how do you take it?
I think you smoke it. It's not
like you roll it up.
I don't know. I think.
Is it like just another plant? Dried up.
I just know that I know. Okay, so I know the medicinal way you take it. The medicinal way you take it is like you go to a doctor and they put like they give you an infusion of it.
Oh,
and it's like an actual like ketamine infusion therapy.
Okay.
And so that's the way I know it. But there are people that become addicted to it using it like the recreational ways. And they go into like these things called K-holes, which, yeah, there's a whole crazy thing. I have a few things like I'm really deep into the psychedelics.
Interesting.
Thing. And so there's some things that I'm like really interested in just maybe testing. I'm not endorsing anybody to do anything, but for me, scientifically speaking, I want to test some. Like, there's one called... What? So bad.
Why you don't want to tell them that?
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to yell at me. Or will YouTube be like, hey, you can't say that?
YouTube? Girl, I've watched videos about...
The first, like, two to 5 minutes, as long as it's out of that.
Oh, guys. Okay, say less. I want to try DMT so bad. So bad.
Have you ever tried, like, the breathwork practice that...
Yeah, I love, like,
supposed to help you.
Yeah, it's
create it.
It's so, like... I don't know. It just feels healing.
Yeah.
And so the whole process of it, DMT is like the dream drug. And so it like is supposed to release the chemical that gets released when you're dreaming or something like that. And it literally like, it's crazy. And it takes you on like this crazy trip. People say that you're like going through tunnels of like space tunnels and like portals and shit and seeing like
in your mind or like
yeah, like it's like a trip. It's like a trip. And so they are like in this shit and it seems like it's like this long experience and they were out for like 2 minutes. Like you're literally like it's like you're
but it felt like way longer than that.
Yeah.
That's
it feels
crazy.
like you're in like a whole nother universe, like living
That's how dreams are though.
Exactly. That's why they call it that. I think they also say that it's like the same chemical that's released when you die. So like
I wouldn't be
surprised. Say that, like
yeah, no, that's true. Yeah,
like,
I remember hearing that too.
You see like all of the stuff before you die or whatever.
Yeah.
Like all of your memories or whatever they flash before your eyes. I guess they say that because that thing that endorphin or chemical or whatever's released is released like with DMT. And so I'm like super intrigued by all of that. And so I really want to try it. And I've like literally written research papers about this stuff. Like
that's
the
dope.
Mental health benefits of psychedelic therapy.
I love that.
I would love to one day like meet a psychiatrist. So if any psychiatrists are watching this and you want to like link up with me, let me know, because I like my dream one day is to start a clinic that's like just for helping people with like psychedelic assisted therapy, like with ketamine infusions and like mushrooms. People like have like given cancer patients that are like about to pass away. There are people that will go give them like mushrooms and stuff to help them get through the fact that they're dying. Yeah. And they will come out on the other side feeling so peaceful about it. Like they will be having panic attacks and just like absolutely just so terrified of what they know is the inevitable, because at that point it usually is like terminal.
Yeah.
And I'm just rattling this thing all up. But yeah, they will come out, they'll go in like fully panicking about that stuff and come out on the other side like peaceful, like, okay, like this is something that has to happen. Like, my life was beautiful and I got to experience all of these things, and just off of like psychedelic assisted therapy. So I'm really intrigued by it. I think it's a big topic that you can look at, because there are so many things, and there are like research teams and like Johns Hopkins and like the biggest, and like NYU, like the biggest freaking colleges, the biggest doctors, and they have research teams that are like doing these types of trials to see like what are the outcomes of using these research. So it's like, this is scientific, like we were talking about the scientific like viewpoint of it, and it is so scientific, like that the biggest minds in like medicine are talking about it, and they have whole fields dedicated to it. I think that's
I'm a huge believer in plant medicine in general. Sacred plant medicine for sure.
I 1,000% agree.
But I just feel like we're fighting against all of this stigma just because at some point we felt like we were separate from nature.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
1,000% for sure. Like everything became like industrialized. All
of the pharmaceuticals are based off of compounds found in plants.
Exactly. So it's like, why wouldn't we look at what, like,
why wouldn't we just use source?
Why wouldn't we just look at the source? Let's look at the compound that we're recreating. And I think that's, it's really interesting.
Definitely.
So my next question for you is about your article, Demystifying Couch Lock.
Yes.
As I like kind of read through it, I was like feeling really smart and like, but like really fried at the same time. I was like, this is literally like, okay, this makes so much sense. So can you tell me like what inspired your piece? Actually, if you want to tell everyone what that article was about,
sure,
then that'd be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So the article we're talking about is actually one of the articles that I wrote myself. That's in OH magazine issue 1. And we kind of just deep dive into the science behind couch lock, like what causes it, how to avoid it if that's what you're wanting to do, and just like what to look for when you're shopping, if you shop, the legal market, so that you can, steer based off of if you want to be couch locked or not. Some people like to be couch locked.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I need to be couch locked. My brain is on go mode so much that sometimes I'm just like, please melt me into
literally
this and let me just watch. Right now I'm watching Love Island.
So my God.
Just let me melt in and watch Love Island right now. That's all I want to do.
With the rest of the world. Yeah,
honestly,
definitely.
after this week is over, I think that's probably what I'm going to do, is just melt into something. A lot of indicas and...
That's all I smoke is indica.
Really?
Yep.
Heard.
Yep.
I like to mix it up if I'm like feeling really active. Well, usually I like mix it up and I do like a sativa, like sativas during the day, and then I'll have an indica at night. Or sometimes if I'm really anxious, I'll have an indica during the day. But it really just depends on like how my mood is feeling that day.
I'm just like low key by default anxious, so like I just stay on indica all the time.
I feel you. And honestly, I do have a lot of panic attacks, and maybe that sativa that I'm throwing in there, maybe it's not really meant for me. Maybe
I might be adding a little something.
Yeah. So let's go back into your magazine and your podcast, Ohio. Ohio.
It's OH-Yo. I know that's like it's a mouthful, but it's a play on the OH
so good
thing. So it's like
it's so good. I love it so much.
It's so cute.
That's why I tried to highlight it. Ohio.
Yes. Yeah. So I kind of just go into the different molecules in the plant,
Mm-hmm.
and you know how they kind of all add to that couch lock experience.
Mm-hmm.
We have cannabinoids, terpenes.
Yeah.
Your dose matters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, a lot of things kind of play into that.
For sure.
But
and
yeah.
with the magazine and with the podcast as a whole, like, because you're the editor-in-chief, so
Yes.
you have like a lot of say in everything. And so my question is like, what is your vision for it, and what excited you to be a part of it?
That's a great question. So the vision for me, I would say, is to kind of just expand on what we've gotten started. We've really just gotten started. We dropped our first issue May 24th at our launch party. So that was like a whole thing. We've been working on that diligently since last year. And
congratulations. That is so amazing.
You.
Like, that's such
thank
a big
you so much. Right now it is just a digital magazine, but we're planning for it to be so much more than that, like virtually. So that's kind of, stay tuned for that. But I really just want to help educate the community and showcase, you know, people that are passionate and are doing their thing. Creative, cannabis related, wellness related, and just helping to give value back to the community.
Love that so much.
Yeah.
That is such an awesome goal. Such an awesome thing to be pushing for.
I honestly, I don't mean to sound like such a pothead, but like honestly, the plant and like everyone in the community, the cannabis community, I just feel like as a whole, you know, we're very loving people.
1,000%.
We want to help people and we want to help the world, you know, like we're all peace and love, like we're
1,000%.
hippies for sure, like modern day. So yeah, that's really the vision for me. How I got into OHIO and everything, fast forward, or I guess reverse, maybe I guess that was a year ago. I was doing a pop-up, like a brand ambassador type gig at a cannabis event. And it was my first time doing it, like physically. And I was actually representing a cannabis tech company called Tetragram. It's Black owned, first cannabis tech company.
That's really cool.
And yeah, so it's actually like a cannabis journal app. Really useful for people that are very medicinally focused using cannabis.
Yeah, like what is your pain, like leveling your pain and stuff like that.
It's helping you track your usage so that you can reference back to it, but also so that you can kind of learn what you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's super cool. I love
more in detail. Awesome. So it's really dope. And so I actually met Anthony and Will, my two teammates. It's like 2 out of the 3 guys on our team. Met them at this Medicaid OH event south of Columbus. And they were kind of just there like interviewing people. Anthony told me he had like a vision of making a cannabis magazine. That's so dope. I thought that was really, really dope. They interviewed me, like, and I got to talk about Tetragram.
That's so cool.
And they ended up inviting me onto their podcast, onto OHIO. Yeah, it was like before I was there. So it was them, you know, those 2 as the co-host prior. And yeah, they ended up asking me to come back and like be a co-host with them. Awesome. So yeah.
I love that so much.
We just kept in touch.
You seem like you're very ambitious and you have like a lot of goals that you're setting. And so my question for you is there any stereotypes that weed users get that you're so sick of hearing? Because I think being ambitious is pretty different than what most people think when they hear like pot smoker, pothead.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean with you mentioning that, I would say the lazy stoner stereotype. I'm definitely tired of hearing that. Like, there's so many people I know in the industry, in the cannabis industry. I mean, they're working a regular job. They got their own side business. they're helping people out. They're teaching people for free how to grow, and they're doing all of these things. They're making content about all the things too. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, a lot of the people I know that are busting their ass are actually potheads.
Exactly.
And we low key be running circles around non-potheads. I'm just saying.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Who's the
I'm
one
sorry.
that just smoked here? Am I supposed to? I feel like I was supposed to have couch lock right now. Like, oh my gosh, I totally get what you mean.
Yes, for sure. No, we're definitely ambitious, entrepreneurial people. Yeah, community focused. We want to help and serve for sure.
I agree. So my next question is kind of like a multi-part question, and so I first want to know, like, what you were taught about weed as a kid, and also like how you feel about the term gateway drug.
That's a great question. Honestly, I really don't even remember much about like my dad teaching me anything about drugs. Like, I don't really remember talking to him about drugs. I just remember knowing inherently that smoking was not good for you. I was actually in kindergarten. I have this really vivid memory that I still hold on to this day. I was in kindergarten, whatever age that is, like 6, and was like playing with the other kids in the neighborhood, and one of the older kids like was smoking a cigarette and offered it to me if I wanted to hit their cigarette. I was just like, shit. No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I knew like immediately that was just like a no-go. Like but I was a really good kid. My dad was very strict. He came from the military. So I was just like a very goody two-shoes child.
See, that's so funny. It's kind of crazy hearing you say that, because I totally would have taken the cigarette. I would have asked him if he had a couple more. Like, can I take some of these home with me?
But everybody in my family smoked at the time. Like, my brothers smoked Black and Mild cigarettes. My pawpaw smoked in the house.
That's crazy. Good. You're a good kid.
So, yeah.
My mom was like, listen, I'm not even going to go too hard on her.
Yeah, don't put your mom out like that. No.
No. I definitely knew people were rolling up and how to do it. Low-key. Like, I was like, step 1, step 2, step 3. And I'll leave it right there.
That's crazy.
I knew tips and tricks. I hadn't even rolled one yet, and I was still like, I think I can pearl this bitch. Like,
what age were you when you got started?
So I smoked a couple of times when I was like a teenager. I became like a heavy smoker whenever I was 18, and I got out of foster care, and I was like sent to do whatever. And I was like, literally, this is so crazy. I wrote a poem about this because I'm such a sap. But one of the first things I did when I turned 18 was buy a pack of cigarettes. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm allowed to go buy a pack of cigarettes. And like, that's what I know people do. Like, that's what people do. It's the one thing I can do, like, as an 18-year-old. Because I can't go, like, I didn't have like a birthday party or anything like that. So I was just like, what can I celebrate with? A pack of cigarettes. And that I did. And so I bought my first pack of cigarettes.
Wow.
And with that, I bought a pack of Swishers. And I did not know where I was going to get weed. I just knew I was going to.
I know, that's right.
And I did. At first, it was just a little bit. And I was like, I can make this last. And I did that shit. And then I started college because I went like straight from foster care into college. And like an off semester, so it was like weird. I didn't know anybody, and it was weird. And so I found the plug, and it wasn't that difficult, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I went to like a religious private school. Oh,
where'd you go?
Keith knows. Keith knows how easy it was.
Where'd you go?
For the plug to spot me. I went to Ashland.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real. It's real stereotypical. I'll say that. I think people definitely played into stereotypes, and so
interesting.
Knowing that I like the people that I did, like they were just like, she probably smokes weed, and they were right. I did, and so they became my plugs. And what were we talking about? Where was I? Where did that even come up? You're talking about Ashland?
We were talking about or maybe like, because you were asking me about how I thought about weed, or like how I was taught to think about weed.
I found the plug in Ashland, and then I was smoking every day, like all day, every day. And then I worked at Cedar Point, and I was really smoking all the time.
And that's lit.
And then I started to be like intentional, and so now, I mean, I smoke a lot, but I try to be like not too fried. I get a lot of stuff.
What's considered a lot to you?
Yeah,
because I feel like that's so subjective.
It's so person to person for sure. I think as long as you can get stuff done and you're not being sloppy, and like that's like, I feel like once you're like slurring your words because you smoked too much,
right? Then
you've smoked way too much, because I don't even.
It's like you can't even keep your eyes open. You know what I mean? And you're just like,
then it's like, okay. And then you want to do some silly shit like go drive after, when you can't keep your eyes all the way open. That's when I'm like, okay,
yeah, that's wild.
That's too much. Maybe have a sativa. that's my suggestion.
I would say that's a decent idea.
the only obvious suggestion.
Or have some coffee.
Yeah. Yes, that would be.
Or a matcha, whatever you do. I don't know what people do these days.
I never had a matcha. I had one time.
I'm trying to get acquainted with it. It's
wasn't good.
I feel like it just depends on how you get it, you know?
The ones, I've seen the ones that have like the cream on top.
Mm-hmm.
That looks delicious. I think that would probably taste good. But I don't know, the way that it...
I've had some warm matcha, like hot, kind of like a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was pretty good. But I've tried it cold. Honestly, I don't even think it had creamer. It had some mushroom, like powder coffee added to it. I didn't make it. Someone in Colorado made it for me.
Oh, her.
Yeah, that was the first time I tried it.
Try it. You're in.
But I haven't found a good matcha that's cold yet.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on that.
Girl.
I'm seasonal, you know? Like for summer I'm going cold.
Yeah, I love that.
For winter I'm going hot for sure.
I'm like all the time, give me an iced chai with like extra white chocolate. If I were at Starbucks. Extra white chocolate. And now I really like cold foam, so add a little cold foam on there.
Here's how you can try this. Try the matcha cold foam. That way you can kind of dip your toe in it.
Oh my gosh, the green cold foam.
Yeah, just try it.
I want to go to Starbucks. Can we go to Starbucks?
We definitely should.
Yeah, low-key, that sounds fantastic. I want that.
Yeah.
An iced chai with
just a little bit on top, you know?
Matcha cold foam?
Yeah.
Wow. Breathtaking.
There you go.
Okay, so my next question for you, we're kind of getting close to the end here.
Okay.
Is, have you ever used weed to replace a different coping skill, like a worse coping skill, something that you shouldn't have been doing?
Yeah. I would definitely say just all the things I do related to weed is helping me to not do other things.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Something that I think about, and this is like on a very medicinal note, because I have MS, I'm on a lot of medicine to make sure that I'm not in like the craziest amount of pain ever, because usually I am, like without the medicine. I'm in so much pain, and so I have to have that medicine, but my brain is like I don't really have to increase. I don't get a tolerance very much, because if my pain gets like extra bad whenever I'm having like some back pain, or like when I'm having an extra like an MS attack, as I call them, I can just smoke a little bit, and that'll subside my pain.
Sure.
And so I'm preventing myself from like having way more medicine.
Oh yeah,
like, my
definitely.
doses could have been way more increased, and like just so much
and that's awesome.
So much more chemicals in my body.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, weed, it really is like the little link, the missing link that I need, because otherwise I would be with so much more chemicals, and I hate
that. Definitely. I think a lot of people, especially people that have to use like opioids and stuff, can attest that cannabis helps them to not have to use as much
1,000%.
pharmaceuticals, which is overall, I would say, is is good, you know?
Okay.
And I think that's dope. That's kind of like why I do what I do. It's because, you know, I feel like people should look to nature and look to, you know, plant medicine and natural, holistic ways to kind of help themselves heal.
Yeah. And I always tell people, like, balance is everything, because I do get really stressed out when people are like, oh, well, I can just do yoga and fix, like, my diabetes. Like, and I'm like, what? How can you do? That's not gonna work. Like, so there's balance. Like, you can, like, take the medicine that's gonna help your body, and then still also, like, utilize other methods that are gonna be more destructive for you than more chemicals. Like, there's a balance. Sometimes you need a little bit of chemicals. Otherwise, you're gonna be, like, really struggling. That's not.
And that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Like, definitely know your body and consult with your doctor. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Consult with your doctor.
And I'm not saying cannabis is like the cure-all for everything or the end-all be-all, but cannabis is definitely something you can use as a tool. And you can even use it with other holistic practices like yoga, like breath work, like dance. You know, it could be journaling. It could be so many things that go a long way.
Yes. It's just something that, like, to add in your toolbox.
Exactly.
Like, I think adding as much in your toolbox as possible is the best way. You're equipped for everything because you have so much stuff in your toolbox.
Period.
So my next question for you is, what is the wildest event you've attended at, like, Ohio in the weed scene so far?
The wildest.
And which are you most excited for? That's another one I'm
interested in. You know what? Honestly, I feel like the wildest event, I actually didn't make it. I had the flu. Oh. It was called Cannapalooza.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
And it was like dab bar.
Oh my God. That's
so many people came out. It was a dope venue.
When do they have that again?
I was wondering if they were going to do it again this year because it was last year.
Fun. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, I was watching it from Instagram.
Oh,
I was so pissed. I had a fever. My whole family was, like, in bed. It was bad.
I would have been actually crying.
I literally was devastated. But from just everybody's feedback, it sounded like it was amazing.
Just the name of it. It sounds like it was such a good time.
Oh my God. I think I think some people low-key got in trouble for some of the things that were going on. You know, the festivities were too fun for the, like it was, you know,
really festive.
Yeah.
The palooza was paloozing.
Yeah, it was a bit much, but
I know I said that.
It's fine.
Okay. So now we're gonna do something new. It's called the Final Puff Lightning Round.
Okay.
And so I'm going to ask you these, and just, like, off the top of your brain, you tell me your answer.
Got it.
And then if I have, and we'll both answer if I didn't make that good. So first, sativa, indica, or hybrid?
Indica.
Sativa. Actually, hybrid. I messed up. I broke my own rules.
Meet in the middle.
Yeah, meet in the middle. That part. Okay. Next, most underrated cannabis product.
Tinctures.
I really like those chamomile wraps that you
Oh, you like those?
I need more of those. Those were fabulous.
Those were a pleasant surprise for me, honestly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They taste like you're smoking tea. I love it.
I'm so happy they sent them to me because I'm really trying to get off of the tobacco leaves. I feel like by the end of the year, I'm trying to be backwood free.
Yeah. It felt so less, like, heavy. It felt a lot lighter.
It is lighter, but it still smokes slow.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Oh my God. So it smoked so slow. It was such a slow burn.
Yes,
it was actually
for
crazy. Sure. Like, do we still have some?
Yeah.
That's crazy. It was going.
Yes, we didn't even finish it. I forgot.
We were smoking in the rain. If my hair looks a little bit crazy, it's we were in the rain. It was rainy.
Yeah, it was. The weather was not cooperating.
Yeah, it wasn't. Okay. Next, one weed myth you wish would die forever.
That weed, like, makes your brain rot or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it kills your brain cells. That's not true. Yes. It's actually, there's a lot of molecules in cannabis that are neuroprotectants.
Yes. I think it's that, like, you can't be a good parent if you smoke weed.
That's a good one, too. That, yeah, for sure.
Next is your dream collab, brand or person.
Oh my God, dream collab. Wow. Right now, I would say dream collab is with Thickney. I love her so much.
To put me on.
You don't know Thickney? Okay, this is insane. One of her audios got featured in one of SZA's songs in her newest album that just came out.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Isn't that insane?
That's so cool.
And all she does is just like random crash out silly stuff.
What?
I swear.
Yeah, send her to me. Send her to me.
She was on Streamer University. I'm so surprised you don't know who she is. You know about Streamer University with Kai?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I try not to spend too much time on like socials other
That's
than
fair.
like for work stuff because I feel like it like that's what rots your brain. So social
That's
media.
true.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like watching this and I'm like, what is happening right now? My dream collab is with Ari Kitsa. Kitsia. I don't know how you say it. And if she's watching this right now, just know, holy shit, please.
What does she do?
She's a spicy girl.
Okay.
And she's so hot.
Fun.
I think she's so hot. She's like she's like my dream girl.
She's super cold.
And
oh my God.
I just want to do anything. Like,
period.
She does like
Felt.
themes. Like, and I'm like, what theme? Let's do a theme.
Aww.
Okay.
That's dope.
So yeah, if she wanted to collab with me, I am down tomorrow. Even though I feel like not doing anything.
I love that.
Okay, and the last one is if weed were a person, what kind of bestie would it be?
Ooh, if weed was a person, definitely would be like a super chill bestie that's down for whatever.
Yes.
Super comforting, like very empathetic.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say like that friend that's there for you with everything. Like
literally.
In every single little moment, anytime a problem strikes, that friend is like, I'm right here.
Period.
Even sometimes they're kind of annoying. They're like, I'm still here. And then, yeah, and then it makes everything better.
Facts.
So that's the kind of friend that it'd be.
I
and
love
my
that.
last question for you is, where can the audience find you?
That's such a great question. You can find me on Instagram at @the.ebonyhempress, and that's the.ebonyhempress. You can also follow me on my cannabis media page, which is at OHHYTV on Instagram.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was so much fun.
I'm so glad you had fun.
Yes. We'll have to do it again.
Oh my gosh, we totally, 1000% we should, for sure. And I'm going to do the outro really quick.
Yep.
Okay. Whether you're a seasoned stoner or still whisper, sorry, dare, every time you light up, I hope this conversation gave you something to think about. Big love to the Ebony Hempress for coming over and reminding us that healing can smell like citrus terpenes and come in a glass jar. I'm your host, Nat, and this is Dysfunctional Alliance. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.